happy to see you all here. Thanks for accepting our invitation to be here. I never thought, I'll get a better traction here in Chennai. The intent of bringing here this event is to make sure that there are a lot of people who get better business connections. People in Chennai in particular visit Bangalore, Mumbai now and then for networks, and interestingly what I found was most of them are from Chennai who go there and get introduced. Why not we get introduced here in our own den? That was what I thought. There are quite a few networking events. We would like to start something here because nothing was too popular like TIE and BNI, which is right now like a community. We want people to walk in, get connected with people and feel awesome, and that's the reason why we are here. It just struck, I was at Mumbai for this Indian Networker meet on the 23rd of April. It was the 7th. I got connected with Sampath Iyengar firstly through Twitter, then through Facebook, and I got an invite from him. And his profile is very vast. He started off Samsung Computers and Networks in the year 1991, and his company focused on connecting business people. He then started off Jam with Sam. Jam with Sam is, it was an invite-only event that had only 25 people maximum at any given point of time for any event, where business people are interviewed, people share their insights, and all these expert insights will help all these startups and other budding entrepreneurs to learn as well. Having said that, there was a great buzz for Jam with Sam. Indian Networker came in place as well, and Indian Networker had around 7 meetings till last month. 8th meeting is on the 28th in Mumbai. We are launching here in Chennai today. Firstly, I request every one of you to stand up for 1 minute. It's the silence to Mr. Nandu Atmaram Behende, who is a member of Indian Networker. I'll be happy if you can stand up and pay homage to him. Mr. Nandu Behende is a musician, Mumbai-based musician, who is also a premium member of Indian Networker. He supported networking, business collaborations, etc. And it was a shocking news for all the members over there. Networker is an amiable forum with diverse networks in the Rotary, Line, Giants, BNI, TIE, etc., which allows people for the creation of synergies and tie-ups amongst themselves and foster relationships. As a matter of fact, there is someone called Robert Kiyosaki, who is an author of Rich Dad series, said, the richest people in the world look for and build networks, and everyone will, every one of us, mostly everyone else will look for work. Building people is the key, and here we are. Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce Sampath Iyengar here. We will have 2 stalwarts in every meetup. For the first time here in Chennai, we have personal branding as a theme, and we would like to have Manoj Beno here. Dr. Manoj Beno is the medical director of Billroth Hospitals. It's one of the leading group of hospitals here in Chennai. I'd like to let you know the flow of the event as well. The flow of the event falls like this. We will have the introduction right now. We had the introduction, and then interview with Manoj Beno first. We will have Saurav Jain interviewed next as well. After which, every one of you will get a chance to hold a mic to get introduced. After which, a group photo.
And then Jam with Sam. Nice having you on the show.
Thank you.
So Manoj, tell me something about yourself. Something about your childhood, and how did you get to your school, and how did you get to this position?
Actually, first of all, let me say my hello to everybody here. I am Dr. Manoj, as introduced. It's a pleasure having you all here, and it's a pleasure being part of this evening. My conscience always asks me to go back home, look at the mirror, and ask, was I really worthy of being here this evening? Why did they call me? Why have I been given this privilege and pleasure of sitting here and addressing a wonderful audience like you? Because I always honestly feel that I'm not there yet. I feel that I have miles to go before I sleep, and there are much bigger stalwarts in the field of medicine than me. Maybe I've done something at a young age, but I should say that I've just started. I have a long way to go to be worthy, to qualify myself and be worthy of such acknowledgements which come to me on a regular basis. But I tell myself that you're probably giving me the credit much in advance as an encouragement for me to achieve things in the future.
So you've done your schooling and your college from Chennai only?
I am a son of this soil. I was born, brought up, educated and settled in Chennai. I've had the privilege of being in Chennai all my life. I've never left Chennai for more than 4 or 5 days. In other words, I've never been to the US and all.
Okay.
All my getaways are all either the Middle East or the Far East.
Okay.
Places nearby. And I've had the privilege of being a day scholar all my life. I've never been a hostelite. I've never been away from home.
Okay.
So basically, my schooling was in St. Bede's, from St. Bede's Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary School, which is in Santhome near the Marina Beach. It had the reputation of producing candidates. It still has, producing candidates who speak very good English. So to a large extent, I owe my communication skills to the school that nurtured me. In fact, I had the privilege of being the chief guest at my own school last year, and maybe I've attended so many functions, so many events, awards, etc. But that day happened to be the most privileged and significant day of my life. So I was very emotional that day, because just like how, because my English was supposed to be good, just like how, whenever there was a chief guest in school, I used to be that guy who wore shorts and stood in front of the mic and take a paper and read, this person is so and so, this person is so and so, we welcome you sir, and all that. There was some other kid that day doing it for me, so that was a very prestigious moment. As for college, I studied in Ramachandra Medical College. I did my MBBS, passed out of Ramachandra, and then I worked with Malar Hospital. In Malar Hospital, I was running the intensive cardiac care department for about 5 years. It was a tough call. I basically was doing well as a clinical doctor. I was practicing in Malar, and at the same time I also had a small private practice on East Coast Road.
Okay.
Daytime I used to be in Malar. Evenings I used to go to East Coast Road. I deliberately picked up an area which was, not a very posh area and all that. A stretch, a patch on ECR where there used to be a lot of middle and lower middle class people, because the city was already saturated with a lot of doctors. So I was like, as a fresher, by the time I go and establish my clientele, now it's going to be a, big battle. So I thought it would make sense to actually target middle and lower class people for 2 reasons. One is, I was sure I'll get patients, because otherwise they had to travel further and further into the city towards Thiruvanmiyur and all that. Because only now, beyond Thiruvanmiyur, East Coast Road is developed. Those days it wasn't. There were houses, but facilities used to be only from Thiruvanmiyur, Adayar, so on and so forth. So I started my practice there, not only because, middle and lower middle class people were there. When it is middle and lower middle class people, again, you cannot charge them much. Okay, that gave me a little small sense of satisfaction from the service point of view. I think I used to look like one big hero to all the patients there, because I used to go in the car, get down and all that. Initially, when I was actually practicing there, I never even used to break even. My travel, diesel or petrol expenses were more than the money that I made every evening. But then things picked up. I was doing fairly well as a doctor working in a corporate hospital, and at the same time having my own private practice. And the time was the time that this call, an opportunity came for me from Billroth Hospitals.
Which year was that?
it's exactly 7 years back. So, okay, I took medicine for a purpose because I'm very, very bad at mathematics. Okay. So, please calculate 7, so it's like 2013. 11. I think it's 2007.
Okay, okay.
2007, I got that break. In fact, for about 6 months, we were in talks regarding this, because as I entered Billroth Hospitals itself, I entered as the medical director. Wow. I was 30 then. I was 30. In fact, I just come. I was running 30. I was running 30. So technically, you could say I was 29. So I had a lot of insecurities and doubts running in my head, because I was and I am not an MBA, which is the basic qualification for a hospital administrator. And when I got in, I used to think of all cinematic experiences and all. I used to come in my mind as flashes. All the doctors hate you, and one fine day they all come together, they catch hold of you and throw you outside at the corridor, and then they tell the security, never let this guy come inside again. Because my age at that point was working against me, and it is that same age which also gave me the drive to go ahead and prove, because we had already entered, or we had just entered the era where we were trying to prove that even youngsters could do big things. I was one of the early birds in that sector, but still I had my insecurities. Running a corporate hospital is not a joke. There are people who look at you like, when they look at you itself like, dude, your age is my experience types. So, you have to take all that in your stride, never be hurtful to anyone, convey your point in a very, even though you have power, okay, you cannot throw it on the table like that. You have to take people in your stride, take negativity in your stride, never get bogged down. Prove your point in a subtle and sensitive way, in a way that is acceptable to people, until the point that you prove yourself. Once you prove yourself, okay, then there's nothing left. You've already proven yourself. But when you are in the proving stage, it's not just for me, it's for everybody, who all the aspirants here or all the achievers here. I'm sure you'll agree that humility is the key to success. So 2007 it started, and it's going on till now.
So what made you switch from an entrepreneur to an employee? As a doctor, you were entrepreneur, in charge of everything over there. And what shift? People generally go from being an employee to an entrepreneur. So what is the thing which...
Technically, you can't call me an entrepreneur, because see, I was working in a corporate hospital only before that. Okay. And I don't think if you have your own clinic, you call yourself an entrepreneur. that way around, this world is full of entrepreneurs. Okay, let's give that word a little more respect. That's why I think today every Tom, Dick and Harry calls himself an entrepreneur. Okay. I know there are people who have visiting cards which don't even say what they do. It just says entrepreneur. So I don't think that's right. I don't qualify myself to be an entrepreneur. I was never that significant in life. I was much lesser than that. I worked for a corporate hospital. I was doing pretty well, because working for a corporate hospital, being in charge of a department also is not a joke. Okay, you need to have proved your credentials to be in that post. And to this date, I am still an MBBS. Okay, I am an MBBS, as in I have experience in terms of working and running a department and all that. But I never pursued a master's. And even when I got into Billroth Hospitals, I never had the drive to do an MBA in hospital administration, because I was pretty sure that the current system, the education system in terms of hospital administration, does offer something, okay, but it is not mandatory to run a hospital. Okay. It's not mandatory. If you know what you're doing, if you're sure of what you're doing, you can still learn all that and more without the help of an examination. I always used to have the small ego in myself, saying that I know just as much or a little more than an MBA graduate. In fact, it will be very surprising for you people to realize or know that I am one of the board of directors for MBA studies for certain colleges. And I set their syllabus. And I'm still not an MBA. So even there, when I set the syllabus, when I have discussions with the other board members, what I tell them is that, you know, MBA in hospital administration, unlike the IT sector or any other sector, it is in the hospitality industry. Whenever there is a hospitality industry involved, okay, there are bound to be problems. Customers, unhappy customers, customer relations is very, very important. And if something goes wrong in that, okay, then word spreads and you get a bad name. Oh, this hotel, the services are very poor. That hospital, oh my God, we had a harrowing experience. The nurses don't know anything. So, you know, when you encounter problems like these are not problems which are cited, explained or taught to you in the form of, you know, reading material. A lot of handling these problems involves using your common sense, using your presence of mind, okay, learning more to respect the sentiments of others, the customer, the client. You know, the golden saying that goes like, the customer is always the boss types. You have to keep all these things in mind and not try to execute your power there, or think, okay, I'm earning so many lakhs a month, why should I be, you know, respecting this particular patient from the general ward or in a hotel. Okay, you know, I'm the CEO of this hotel. Why should I be even looking at one guy who just came and ordered one plate of dosa? How is it going to, you know, add to the income of my hotel in a big way? That is certainly not the route to be taken. And I think I successfully understood that. So even in MBA programs, I used to tell them, give people more field work rather than textbook work, so that they intern in other places, they see what problems come on a day-to-day basis, so that, you know, they pick up lessons as to tomorrow when they go and sit in the same job, how qualified they are, okay, in a presentable way, rather than, you know, these are my marks, this is what I've learned. You know, obviously I must be having stuff if I've got 97%, not necessarily. I know there are so many people who come out with flying colors in their academics, but when they are actually on the field, okay, displaying their skills, they do not perform that well. So more field work in the field of medicine, hospital administration, hotel administration, anything is like very important, I think.
So you feel people from the hospitality industry can also be put into the hospital, because it's basically hospital. It's a very new, very unique thing which you have done over there, because they've been trained to take care of customers.
I honestly feel if I can be somebody, then anybody can be somebody. So at least there's a better. See, I came from a clinical person to being an administrator.
Absolutely.
Okay. You're talking about an administrator from one field, which is closely related to the hospital scene also, because hotel and hospital are both hospitality. So jumping from that to this, I don't think is, you know, doesn't sound that ridiculous. It is definitely possible.
So tell me something about hospital. I mean, how many hospitals are you in charge of in the city?
Billroth is a group of 2 hospitals.
Okay.
There's one in Chennai Nagar. There's one more in Raja Annamalapuram.
Okay.
I sit in Chennai Nagar.
Okay. But you're in charge of both the hospitals?
I'm the medical director for both the hospitals. See, so I have a managing director and a CEO.
Okay.
They're husband and wife. So managing director, CEO and myself, we've been running the show.
And this
or rather I'd say I help them run the show.
Okay, that's better. And this hospital, what is the kind of clientele? Are there very rich clientele coming there? Are they lower class? What is the kind of clientele which come to the hospital?
Billroth Hospitals, to be very honest with you, started off always targeting affordable healthcare to the middle and lower middle class. Okay, it's about 23 years old now, that hospital. And it was much smaller when it started off. It started off by a single man, okay, who passed away at an early age. Okay. But by the time he passed away, he had already developed it into a corporate hospital. He passed away just before the corporate status had been gained, and it could flag off in a full-fledged way. So that way around, even when it became a corporate hospital, initially the public that were flowing in were predominantly middle and lower middle class. Okay. But Billroth Hospitals does a lot of volume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so even if it is middle class patients, there always is a lot of volume. It was predominantly a gastrointestinal specialty hospital. So that will involve, your appendicectomy and then your stomach surgeries and again other general surgical procedures like hemorrhoids or the piles operation and all that. They used to be and still are, the pioneers in that field. So the feed, even if it is lower middle, it will come from patients coming in from Nellore, patients coming in from Gudiyatham, this place, all from outer belts. People used to travel to actually get here, admitted, treated and go, which is a practice even now. And then because corporate services are available and the hospital is clearly divided into general ward, then the little higher income group and then the exclusive group and all that. People came, they saw the services, and now our clientele recently has developed very well. Now we have public from all sectors. Again, even if the upper cream class comes into Billroth hospitals, the middle and the lower class are always taken care of. Because we knew that's how we started. And that's probably why, even if you see our advertisements all across the city right now, in case anybody has caught a glimpse of it, it says the number one in affordable super specialty hospitals. It doesn't just say number one in super specialty hospitals, in affordable. So compared to other corporate hospitals, we've done our pricing, everything in a way that there is a clear demarcation. It's not like 5% difference, 7% difference and all that, or some difference for the sake of calling it a difference. It's not like that. We have a huge difference. We have a huge significant difference. That the same surgery, if done with us, or the medical procedure if done with us, and another XYZ hospital, the public can match tariff rates and see that we are definitely priced in a much more acceptable way than the others. So that again brings us more patients, and that is again volume. We focus more on volume than in having very limited patients and trying to extract the maximum from them.
So what is the kind of competition you have? Are there similar hospitals? Are there, like in Mumbai you have municipal hospitals which are like practically free hospitals over there? So is there any competition which you are facing right now?
See, competition is there everywhere. I'd be lying if I said no. Now we have one hospital in Shivanagar. There will be other corporate hospitals that have already been existing. Those which were doing well before, not doing well now. Not doing well before, but suddenly doing well now. Or a new hospital that has come up, they flag off and in 1 year you hear that it's for sale. Or another new hospital that comes, flags off, and from the second month or third month they do roaring business. All these things are there in every field, whether it is hospital or IT sector or whatever it is. I think branding and ethical way to practice should be based on two things. Number one, you do your work properly, no matter what. Whether another organization is doing it well or not well need not be a botheration. What I'd like to say is that you have to keep two things in mind. One thing is, no matter what, irrespective of your neighbor doing well or not doing well, you do your job and you do it right. In fact, I can see that much is always lost when you're always focusing on, is the other person doing well, is the other person. I think rather than looking at the extra sheets that your classmate is asking for in an examination, you sit and focus on your exam. I think you have a better chance of getting at least a few more marks.
Absolutely.
It's only going to panic you further and pull your performance down. So do your job well, no matter what, and leave the rest to God. That is one thing. And the second thing is that whenever you want to brand yourself or market yourself, always brand yourself and market yourself. Stop there. That's all. Never try to ape or mimic others or come up with counters that will put others down. Don't do these two things, and you're always on the right track.
You seem to be very popular in Chennai on social media. So I see a lot of posts and a lot of things over there. So you've been using Facebook and Twitter. So you find
I'm not on Twitter.
I saw you were on Twitter.
Yeah. So a kind soul created that account for me and said, "Here, this is your password. Start using it." I said, "Never."
So that kind soul also, please remove that egg and put a photograph over there. There's an egg as his DP over there. So you find Facebook is more communicative?
See, I'm glad and happy that I managed to find time for social media. And when I do, I can't be jacks of too many trades. I don't want to be on, Facebook plus Twitter plus XYZ. I thought I'll do justice to one media that I'm comfortable with, and I chose that platform as Facebook. That's it.
So when you, how you got that much of engagement? I mean, once you post, I see that somebody got 200 likes, 300 likes, 100 likes. What is it that you have found which people keep coming back? Is it your humor? I've read a couple of posts. Is it your humor? Is it because you engage with other people? What is the kind of thing over there?
If you've read a couple of my posts, why don't you tell me the answer?
I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
No, usually when people ask me, how do you get 300 likes in 30 minutes? I say, all the other 300 are my fake profiles under different names. So I post and I press like. For example, if there's one Geeta Nair pressing like, that Geeta Nair is actually me. And then they say, oh, we find all your pictures very interesting. Okay, how are these possible? I was like, I'm off all of them. No, but technically, social media, two things. If you never are out to wash dirty linen in public, to put all your problems out there for the public to see, to make comments or bad remarks about one person whom you unfriended the previous day because that person did this to you or did that to you, or post comments saying that, hey, look at our hospital, and look at that hospital, those people have this kind of a reputation, we are far better than them, or say stuff that is hurtful to one sector of people. Okay, for example, if you say something about divorce, there might be a sector of people who have been divorced and might not go down very well with them. So if you keep all these things in mind and make sure that you are sensitive to the sentiments of others, absolutely, never do anything hurtful intentionally or unintentionally on a social platform. And if you achieve that, if you keep that in mind, okay, then it is up to you, okay, to be as humorous, as witty, as concerned, as socially responsible, or whatever you want to, or if you're not harming people, okay, you can be on Facebook all the time, okay, posting stuff about yourself, saying that you're having the best time of your life. That is fine too. Okay, I do all of these with the sole intention that I will never hurt anyone. Okay, and I will neither use that as a complete branding market only for myself or only for my organization or profession. Okay, it has to be a mix of everything. Okay, it should, a social platform, a Facebook page is like how we call our CT angiogram, okay, or an MRI scan. It is not what is visible to the naked eye, okay, but when you do that scan, okay, it cuts a slice of your body and shows something which was not visible to you till then. Okay, so when you open my Facebook page, you say, oh, so this is Manoj, okay, this is his mom, this is his dad, okay, this is what he's been doing last weekend. You're giving an opportunity to somebody, okay, to take a peek into your window. Okay, so you have to realize, okay, that when somebody is peeking into your window, you should not be in your pajamas, you should not be brushing your teeth, you shouldn't be lying naked. You're making something a little personal go public. So whatever personal stuff that you're putting there should be personal stuff there. There should be things that you would like to share with others. There should be things about your achievements. There should be things about your personal life. You have to balance and mix and match everything in a way that it is interesting to the person who is taking that peek. Okay, instead of thinking, oh my god, what a waste of time. Okay, and I honestly believe that there is nothing that works like humor. Okay, because one day I might be interested in knowing that a friend is getting married. Another day I might not be interested in knowing that another friend is getting married at all, because I was like, oh my god, I just went through this very bad phase in my life. Okay, so I don't really care if you're getting married or not. Mentality changes, but nobody ever says no to a good sense of humor. Okay, it's always a welcome change and a breathing refresher. And if you have control over humor in the right mindset, there are so many sensitive and social messages that you can convey through that sense of humor, again without hurting people. So I try to do that. I do not know how successful I am. I try to do it.
Who do you idolize? Who's like your idol? You should try and live up to that.
I try to look up to and live up to the expectations of my dad, who passed away 2 weeks back. In fact, I think I owe a lot of my communication skills, all those genes, I think I took it from him. In fact, I've suffered the embarrassment of some of common friends of my dad and me. For example, there might be a family friend who knows my dad, who knows me also. So I go to another gathering. When I go to that gathering, that one person will walk up and he'll say, "Hi Manoj, how are you doing?" And I'll say, "Hello, how are you doing?" And when we are sitting and having a chat, sometimes if 2-3 people say, "Oh Manoj, you have a great sense of humor," okay, that person will say, "He is nothing, you should meet his dad." So I think I owe a lot to my father.
If you would like to be reborn as somebody, who would you like to be reborn as? Don't say yourself, you can't say that.
I'd like to be reborn as my dog.
As your?
As my dog.
Dog, okay, why?
I think whatever said and done, a pet's love is the most uninhibited love that I've ever seen in this world. Okay, leave parents, siblings and all that. Pets, a small example. When you go back home from work after a hard day's work, the happiness or the energy that you see in your pet when it starts wagging its tail and it comes running at you and jumps at you, I haven't seen that in human beings. So maybe I'd like to be born as a dog, or maybe I already am.
There's a big article in Mumbai about the hospitals inviting doctors to come across and giving them targets. You send us 20 patients, you send us 30 patients, you send us 40 patients. These are the commissions and these are the targets. A very large hospital owned by a very large industrialist, it's actually come in the papers. They have got invitations which are there, which has been sent to the doctors talking about the commissions and all. It's come in the papers. Do you think such things exist here also?
See, answering this question is very simple. Basically, public are not fools. If you are able to sit at this table with me in front of an audience and comment about this in front of a video camera, then there are a lot more people out there, general public also, who are aware of all these facts and know the same, right? So if you do all these things, your reputation also will be as such. Okay, your reputation also will be as such. Okay, if things are okay, then people are going to say, okay, fine, I got admitted, I got treated, I got discharged. If things go wrong, what are people going to say? Oh, that hospital, okay. In any case, they give commission to people not to get patients. No, they buy patients, they buy doctors, like that. So things will not always be rosy, and such things will not last for long
time. Okay, no matter how good the hospital is, no matter how.
Okay, even this hotel that we are sitting in, okay, if somebody is going to come and say, these 10 things about this hotel are very nice, okay, but that one thing is very horrible, I don't like it, okay, it's still a loss for the reputation of the hotel, right? So I view it that way.
Yes. What are the hobbies you have?
Hobbies, I love life.
Okay,
I enjoy life. So therefore, I like meeting friends. I love music. I love driving. Even in this traffic, I self-drive every day. Which is from ECR to Chennai Nagar. It's like cross country altogether. I love interiors. I love gardening. I love doing up my house. Okay, I like go and mix and match stuff and buy things and keep it. I love cleaning.
Okay, your house?
I clean my own bathrooms,
Okay.
toilets and all that. In fact, it's a joke when friends call me up on Sunday. How's your toilet cleaning going? That's what they'll ask. Because before that they used to ask, shall we go for lunch, brunch and all that. My answer always will be like, I'm cleaning. Then there'll be a more personal question. What are you cleaning, by the way? And I'll be like, wait, I'll send you a WhatsApp picture. I'll be sitting in my shorts with one brush in one hand and Harpic in the other and scrubbing the tiles. But I think it's very therapeutic. I love it.
Kenny.
I love movies.
Okay, what sort of movies do you like?
I know only English and Tamil.
Okay.
Okay, so give me 200 crores and I will not watch a Hindi movie. I will not watch it even if there are going to be subtitles on Thursday at Satyam Theatre. I will not watch it even if I'm gifted a Blu-ray disc which again has subtitles. I will be like, it is insulting to my brain to try and force myself into something, okay, which I do not understand. It's not like if I do not watch one movie of one particular language, it is going to be a huge loss for me. No, I kind of tell myself, from whatever I know, whatever I understand, what knowledge is imparted to me, that is enough.
Yeah, I also share the same thing on Hindi movies because my father also. My father used to never allow me to see, so I brought up on English movies. Of course, Tamil I didn't get to see much abroad, but English movies is my staple. Unless my wife drags me and come on, this movie is very good, you have to come. So she drags me. So every 3 or 4 months I go and see a Hindi movie. So I appreciate it because I see it every 3-4 months. So I'm going to see it every 2 or 3 days. Then you have to appreciate
I'm sure we do not have the kind of time to watch more than movies of 1 or 2 languages, right? So I think we are happy with the English and Tamil.
So a message to the entrepreneurs, we have people, a message to them. What message would you like to give them?
Will Balaji be able to guess what I'd like to say? I've said it before.
Balaji, you're not on video, so let him say it.
I would rather say it.
Okay.
Because that Manoj had given in the previous event where I was hosting there as well. His statement was an eye-opener for me. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. That was his statement. That was when I had no clue about what I should do after engineering. By the way, I am a mechanical engineer. So that was the eye-opener statement. And I thought a bit, that was, he always had a humor sense to everything that he spoke. But one serious statement in between, goes deep into the heart of every audience that he speaks with. That's very impressive. And right now we have started up. Jerome is the co-founder along. And we are here now today. We have to grow. We have miles to walk from here. Still, we have started.
You have our wishes. Anyway, as for the message part that you wanted to know, I'd like to tell you 3 things. Some of you have already grown. Some of you are in the growing stage. Personally, when people come to me for interviews, I'm never very impressed upon seeing resumes which have 2010 January to 2010 June, this particular organization. June to December, one more. Okay, 2011, 12, 13, all. By the time they reach 14, it will be like some 6 pages of a resume with having worked in 10 or 15 organizations. Never do that. Try to stick to one single organization, or at least due to circumstances you might have to jump organizations, but never make it a matter of choice. This place is paying me better. Okay, I tried doing this. Oh, this is not very impressive. I'll do that. There might be some examples of people who've done similar things, okay, and have succeeded. Okay, the take-home message is that if you don't like something, don't do it. You like that? Okay, do it. Oh, you like that? Do that too. The world is so vast; it's an ocean. No, have focus. Have focus. There are more people who have lost out on their careers by mixing and matching, trying to do this, do that, multiple things, I seem to be good at everything, so let me try my hand at everything. And finally, I did 35 different jobs before I found the dream job of my life. Okay, those examples are very few. There are more people who have wasted their careers that way. Try to stick to one particular line of thought. That will definitely help you. That is one thing. Another thing I wanted to tell you is India, over the years, ever since I graduated, has developed beautifully, amazingly. I think at least in these years of 2014, 15, so on and so forth, I request more of you to take a conscious call to stay in your own country and serve the country. Because gone are the days of, if I go to the US, I'll be able to buy a BMW. If I go to the US, I'll do this, I'll do that. Then I'll travel around the world. I will stand in front of the Eiffel Tower and click pictures and post it on Facebook. Yes. All these things don't look big to us anymore. Okay, everything is available in India. There's no point in buying that huge, Blu-ray projector and wear 3D glasses and watch movies which you can't share with your friends and your family members or relatives. Okay, if you are in your own country, you can stay rooted here. You can make your parents happy. You can add to the wealth of the nation also. And I don't think India is paying very bad these days. Okay, a lot more opportunities have come up. A lot more avenues have been opened up. I think the youngsters of this generation should start using that, because I had the opportunity of going abroad. Okay, I was stubborn, and when I was stubborn, okay, my folks were calling me a fool, because they were like, you don't have a future here. What are you going to do? Me and your dad are not owners of hospitals. By the time you struggle and come up here, it's going to be like, ages. So why don't you go there, make some money, okay, and then come back? I said, no, I'm very attached to this city and this country. I'm going to be here. And it worked out well for me. I did take my risks. I never knew that I was going to make it to what I am today. Okay, but I did make it. So I think you should keep that in mind. Third thing I'd like to tell you is, people who've already come up, people who are struggling to come up, whenever you go to places, okay, we meet each other, then we meet another person, XYZ. Never ever underestimate anybody. Yeah. Okay, you never know who's gonna make it big tomorrow. There might be some silent spectator here, okay, who might not be able to even offer you an attractive visiting card. Okay, tomorrow he might be much bigger than you ever imagined. Okay, and if you acknowledge him today, he will acknowledge you that day, because you acknowledged him when he was nothing. I have been through this. I have been acknowledged by people when I was nothing, and I can never forget that. Okay, so you do not know who becomes who later on in life. Keep that in mind. Stay humble. And there's this one particular quote which always inspired me at every point of life. Even in my decision to stay in Chennai, in my decision to stick to an organization for so many years, that quote would be, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So that really inspired me a lot. It taught me values like, being faithful to an organization, being honest to my employers. So many things it taught me. I think you people should also have that in your mind. If you take home these points that I told you, definitely I am sure it will create a difference in your lives the same way it did to mine. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience. God bless you all. Thank you.
Which you can have your coffee. Indian Networker Mug.
Thank you.